Would you like to get up to 250,000 in equipment funding with same-day approval, 24-hour funding you can use to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch? Now, whether you are a startup or a non-startup also. Hi, welcome into this Everlasting Capital Review, where I, Michael, will be going in depth in a moment to show you all there is to know about this program, the legitimacy, the pros and cons, alternatives, and so much more you need to know so you can finally power your business moving forward, not having to worry day to day, trying to figure out if you'll actually be able to have a business or if you'll have to close your doors down because you don't have the right type of equipment and either working capital and so forth. Okay, but before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with videos like this on all types of financing, small business loans, different opportunities for you to look into, and so much more. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And also click the bell notification icon so you don't miss a future video I come out with. Let's get right into this. You're looking at the homepage of Everlasting Capital. It says here, feel the comfort of easy business financing today, but is that the truth? This company is legit. They are one of the best in the equipment financing field, if not the best, at helping you get the best rates, helping you get the best funding for your specific business. And listen, at the end of the day, you need this equipment because you want to not only increase your bottom line, your profits, that's great, revenue, sales per month coming in, and then you look at it annually, but also because you want more for your customers. You want to add more value to, you want to be able at the end of the day to take some time off and say, okay, well, I can let this business run and I don't have to worry so much about it. Just imagine that, being able to take a vacation. Now you can kick up your feet on the sand while you're looking out into the ocean and it's all sunny and you have a drink next to you, maybe your spouse or whoever that may be, and you're just kind of relaxing there. And this is what really it will enable you to do. So listen in here with me as we go through this. And I also have a post that I'll be guiding you through. Now, quick decisions, no obligation, apply in minutes. Our application process, it's online, easy, and secure. In fact, all you can take is a one-page application or a DocuSign. It's very efficient, hassle-free, no payments, no hidden fees like you've seen with other types of companies. And I've been through those before and I know how bad they can get. This is none of that. It's very quick. Like I said, within 24 hours, funding, same day approval. That way you can move forward finally. Approved in hours. Don't wait. You'll receive your offer and contracts to sign. Funded in days. Application to funding can take as little as 24 hours, as I just mentioned. What they offer. So they have three things here. They have equipment financing, just about any equipment your business needs starting at $500, including restaurant equipment, computer hardware and software, POS terminals, construction equipment, commercial vehicles, capital equipment, and we'll learn a little bit more about that. I'll go digging deeper into that side. They do working capital as well. Get an influx of capital to grow your business or take advantage of an unexpected opportunity. Purchase inventory, equipment, technology, temporary cash flow, marketing, working capital supplementation, a little bit more to that. But they solely focus on the equipment financing. I don't know how open the working capital is at the moment, but the equipment financing is what you want to look at when we're going through Everlasting Capital. Now, if you're looking at working capital, let's say you want to do revenue-based funding, then I'll have some alternatives for you down below in the description where you can get up to 25,000 same day instant approval, funds deposited into your account right away you can use, or you can even get up to 2 million with no interest rates, no collateral to put down, or no type of hard credit checks, just soft credit pull. That's it. Now that's if you're looking for a lump sum. Let's say you don't specifically want to go for equipment, or you want to get working capital you can use towards equipment. That's also a opportunity to take advantage of. And again, that'll be down below for my #1 recommended place to go to for that. And here we'll kind of focus a lot more on the equipment financing. So offer financing, that's just if you want to help out with others. So here's just a little bit about what people are saying. We'll go through that in a moment, but the Everlasting Capital Edge, as you know, it's a business where it's non-traditional. So if you were to go to a bank that's more traditional, the route, if you were just to go through your savings account, ask for friends and family's help, you'd classify those as more as traditional. So this is a non-traditional alternative lending company where we can help you get the right type of equipment, the right type of capital that's needed for you to move forward. And without the hassles of having to go to a bank and getting denied time and time again, we're here to help you. Now let's move down here. There's just some videos here to go through with the founders. And now let's go through the programs. But before I do that, let's move down this way. So we're going to go through the equipment financing, and I'm also going to show you some of the pieces of information we're going to request from you so you know where to get started. And the link to this program will be down below. You'll likely see something like this, where it'll be my page. I'm just going to ask you a few questions so I can get in contact with you and I can get you the best offer and the best deal, send the information over to our finance manager and do it that way. This way I have the best details and I know how to really help you out and understand your business most. So this will be down, looks like this more or less, maybe it'll change a little bit, but this is what you're looking at. And that'll be again down below. I'll get in contact with you after I get your information, whether email or it could even be a phone call necessary. And then I'll just ask for some documents, which I'll go into in a moment. So equipment financing and leasing. We know that obtaining business assets to bolster your business without restriction cash flow, is a balancing act. The solution, business equipment, leasing and financing from Everlasting Capital. It only takes seconds to apply and have access to affordable payments and potential tax advantages. Finance options that are just important as your business. These are customized to match your needs and your goals of your business. There are some companies out there, and I know how that sounds like, well, every company will do that. Yes and no. Some companies have maybe one small focus, or they have plenty of industries that they can help. It's just they have one service for it and that's it, one set of requirements. No, this is where Everlasting Capital comes in, is more efficient because they know what company they can help. And they've worked with different industries, as I've said. Whatever type of equipment you're needing for whatever business that is, they can match it. And whatever goals you have, they're going to do the best for you. So we'll work with you to create a payment structure that matches your specific needs. And I'm going to go through the qualifications in a second here, so just stick with me. For instance, full payments may be delayed for 3 months to start generating revenue, and payments may be stretched out for up to 60 months. With our business financing, substantial cash outlays and depletion of bank credit lines can be avoided. With Everlasting Capital, finance companies have access to funds, business equipment, commercial vehicles, technology products, and much more. So you can boost your growth with business financing and leasing. And with Everlease's capital equipment finance and leasing programs, you'll experience the flexibility, offer financing up to $1.5 million for new and used equipment and technology. For up to $250,000, all that's required is a simple one-page application or DocuSign. Fast service, decision within 24 hours, same day, within 24-hour funding. Low to no upfront costs. There are no prepayment penalties for any of this. So deferred payment and 100% financing options are available. Buying confidence with our pre-approval. Companies know that they can afford to spend when shopping for equipment. So we're going to get you the best deal. Now that also depends a little bit about whether you are a startup or non-startup. So I'm also going to get into that in a moment. So stick with me. Plus, you can ask all about the inclusive financing. The cost of new equipment goes beyond the sticker price and may also include shipping taxes and other expenses. Everlasting 100% financing means financing these expenses assist in avoiding upfront costs. Listen, I've helped out so many different companies, whether you're in the trucking, construction, it does not matter. It can be in medical, restaurants, etc. I've been able to plug in and help each and every one of you get the right type of equipment, from rent to own or straight out own. However you're taking this approach with equipment financing, there are many little services within it. Now, we're going to help to get you the best no matter what. And I know how difficult it is for you as a startup. And I deal with this on a daily basis, and you might be one of them that I will message. And when it comes to our conversation, it'll be like, well, I'm just getting started out, but I would love to have a truck. I've been driving for so much years, or I'm just trying to transition to this. What can be offered for me? Now, if I wish I had that truck, because if I did, that would increase my bottom line for another like 10 to 15,000 per month. And then I could afford to do more and so forth. So I'm here to help you with that. And if you are a non-startup and you're in that growth and expansion phase, don't worry. I'm going to go through the qualifications here in a second. So now let me do that. And then we'll skip over the working capital for a little bit here. So qualifications, you must have the following. We're looking at around a 625 credit score FICO, preferably 650 plus is what we want. Personal, right? 100% ownership in the company. That's what we were looking at. 2+ years in business. 1 year is acceptable, especially if you are in like that startup phase. We're looking at about a 700 plus FICO for that. So as you see here, startup is okay with 700 plus FICO. Credit scores with mortgage or outright home ownership, and 20% to put down at least. You're looking at around 15 to 20% more or less. It can even go higher, 25% or so. 2+ years of driving experience with that as a startup. Homeowner as well with the startup, not a renter, or 2+ years of mortgage as a startup. So those are the qualifications for you. Non-startup, and then you have startup as well. So keep that in the back of your mind if you're watching this video and you are in that kind of like building phase, the startup. These are it right here, no exceptions. And then this is what you're going to see just across the whole board. And Everlasting Capital, I know they're one of the better ones. And you're saying, well, let's go see what some other lenient companies can give me. And it's going to be more or less the same. Over the road trucking, that applies too for the 2+ years in business for startups and so forth, as I just mentioned. And especially in the trucking industry, if you're in that or you're trying to get any type of equipment nowadays, the market prices are even not like they've skyrocketed. So it is hard to even own a vehicle at times. So you're looking at a rent to own can be a viable solution for you. And if you have the business funding, you have the revenue and the sales coming in, you're doing well annually, then you can, go for that owning step. But just think about that and just know that it is a little bit more difficult, especially in the trucking industry, but we're here to help. Now, if you're a startup, again, like I said here, between 15 to 20% more or less. If you're looking for a semi-truck for 120,000, for example, then you can expect to pay between 18,000 to 24,000 more or less. So that's what you're putting down. And you're probably like, well, I don't have that much to put down. And if you're looking for other options, then I'm going to leave my resources down below for other startup funding options, as well as grants and things like that for trucking and other types of industries as well. So make sure to check those out. And one thing that I do want to bring up, if you are looking for more help, I have this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist. You can go through that will thoroughly show you how to get set up before you go into an application and you finally know you are going to get approved. This way you're not spending a lot of time, you're not making mistakes, going through these failures, wasting days, weeks, these months, and then these years, and you don't get approved for anything. You've tried it over and over again. This will help you, and this will also give you bonus content in there to show you, okay, this is how I walk into an application for whatever type of small business loan it is, and it gives you so much more. So that'll be down below in the description. Make sure to pick that one up if you haven't already. Now, that is it for that equipment financing side of things we just went over. Then they also have the working capital. But like I said before, it might not be stretched out or it might not even be still getting funded at this moment. So if you're looking for a working capital type of funding situation, then I recommend a company like David Allen Capital Inc. for them. I've helped out many people through here. They do help non-startups at the moment. We're looking at about 4+ months in business with at least 5,000 plus monthly coming in and bank revenue within the last 3 months, 450 plus FICO, and a few other details. They even have up to 2 million you can get. They have up to 25,000 same day instant approval, and then up to 2 million, and then they have customer financing, payment processing, and a few other things. You can use that funding towards equipment if that's what you would like to do, and many people do opt for that. So maybe it's not a truck, or maybe it is, and you want to get that funding for it. You can use it towards it, pay it off, completely own it, go for it. That's an option on the table, and this will be down below. I have videos on this program that go very in depth. For the up to 2 million, for the Bank Breezy, the Bitty Advanced, some things here that maybe sound a little foreign right now, but this is how it goes with this. So I recommend them for working capital, and there'll be a couple of other alternatives out there, but those are the two that that's the one like I really recommend you look into. And then for startups, I'll have some other resources for that. So small business working capital loans are perfect for healthy businesses with steady revenue, or their working capital provides simplicity, and versatility to meet the funding needs of any small business. The difference is in their automatic daily payments. Instead of having to cut checks, figure out payments, and get unwelcome surprises in the mail, money is deducted from your business's bank account in the same amount at the same time every day. It's short-term financing without the usual stress and hassle. So you know what you're getting every day. And this is it more or less within the revenue side of things. It's less about payments being monthly. We look at it more from a daily. It can even be weekly sometimes, maybe even bi-weekly, but for the most part, you're going to be looking at daily payments, and for the most part, they can be micro. So we're never gonna get you something that you can't afford to pay back. So you got to look at it from that point of view. For business owners looking for manageable funding amounts and shorter repayment terms of 6 to 24 months, working capital loans throughout everlasting capital are ideal. Do you qualify? They offer access to working capital, non-startup capital, not startup, which means you'll need to have been in business for 3 months or more. Your bank statements must show deposits at least $6,000 a month. If you don't think you qualify, you can give them a call as well. Get in touch with one of the finance managers. But just some of the things they're going to be looking through to speed up the process: 3 months business bank statements, unexpired government issued picture ID of all owners, voided check from underwritten business bank account. Okay, so let's come back to this article just to show you a few things. Went over that. So the instant application process, we click here on apply. On the left side here will appear the form. You're just going to be asked a few things. 4 categories: your business, your finances, your owners, and your bank statements, from your funding amount needed all the way down to the landlord name and phone number. So that's just a bit of piece of it. But again, I'm going to leave this down here below. Fill out this form and I'll get in contact with you and I'll help you get set up the best way. I'll ask for information and just some of the things you'll be getting asked for. If you can't see this very clearly, let me see if I can stretch it out a little bit so it doesn't show that it's too blurry. Okay, let's move this way. Actually, I'll go ahead and backspace this a little bit and I'll read it for you. So we do not accept anything other than a complete application package. Likely I'll send this to the manager right now, Evan, and they will need a completed credit application, invoice of link for the equipment, and most recent 3 months of complete business bank statements in PDF format. Okay, that is what we're looking at. So again, so we don't accept anything other than a complete application package. They will need a completed credit application, invoice of link for the equipment, and most recent 3 months of complete business bank statements in PDF. So when we get in contact, that's what all I'm going to be looking for. And it'll be very quick. It's very standard. This is how it works across all equipment financing programs and any type of other type of small business loans. So again, that'll be there down below in the description, one of the very first links. Go ahead and click that and get in contact, and I will follow up with our finance manager to make sure it gets all the information, because this way we can give you the best offer possible. Yes, you can go through the website alone, but you won't get your specific needs measured out as well. And when I understand your business better, because I've been doing this for a while, I'll know what to send over to the finance managers. Okay, so your business information, just some things here that I already covered. Their contact, there's a number there. What people are saying here, and these are some that I got off of Trustpilot. I filled out an online app through LendingTree in search of an equipment loan, and they matched me with Everlasting Capital. So if you went with LendingTree, they'll push them through Everlasting Capital. I worked with Will Murphy, and the entire process was very smooth and fast. I definitely recommend Everlasting Capital to everyone who's seeking investment capital. Thanks, Will, for getting me the funds I needed in a very short amount of time. Your help is very much appreciated. Lightning fast, finding for a piece of equipment, new equipment needed, fast and just the way it should be. Professional throughout the process. When I needed the approval from Brian, called me and I told him what I needed and what I needed it for in my situation. He called me back the next day telling me he got me the loan and so forth. So we can help you get that. Let's see if I can put this video up here just so you can see what some people are saying. And I am going to turn on the speaker.
Joel Garnick, President of Eclipse Fleet Service, LLC. About 5 years ago, when we contacted Everlasting Capital, we had to do a very large project in purchasing a large amount of aluminum. We basically have to hedge our aluminum like a stockbroker does for the type of vehicles that we do, those beverage bodies. Those side doors, as they roll up, require a significant amount of aluminum. So in contacting them, we took maybe about 15 minutes to do the paperwork, and we were funded with probably about 30 hours. We were able to go out and buy about $150,000 worth of aluminum. In any small business, cash flow is king. So with keeping that in mind, we work on our budgets a few times during the year. So you might have your budget at the beginning of the year of what you want to shoot for. Things come up, projects, chances of purchasing tools, equipment, or inventory, anything can happen. So in having this type of flexibility that you can go outside the normal confines of the financial industry, having somebody that you can deal with and having funding in a short amount of time is key. We're not backed by a large corporation or a private equity firm. So the decisions we make affect us within minutes. So you have that day-to-day, and sometimes you have to make a heartbeat decision on what has to be done because something comes up, something comes in, and dealing with Everlasting Capital, that is what we do. The second step of any project that we do is contacting Everlasting Capital. In that, we know what steps we have to take of putting our budget together to see if it's a project that we can do. And again, they will sit down, work with you, and tell you what you need to do, where you need to be. So that is key for us. Again, second step, we have the concept of what it may be, call to see what the funding will be and how we can put everything together. And again, they help hand in hand with that whole process.
Okay, so you got to see a quick review testimonial from a client there and how critical Everlasting Capital has become to them. So they will contact them. And this is something you can expect to do. You can always get in contact with me too. And if you have any information, I can answer that for you. And I can also pass that down to our finance manager, see what we can do for you. But that for the most part is it. Now let me come back down this article. And again, the links will be down below in the description to get started. Go ahead and fill that information out. I'll get in contact with you and then we'll get the best deal made for you. So there are a couple of complaints, but it's not like, it was just misleading information. This again comes back to people who are either the competitors or people who just didn't understand the process. This is what it looks like. And I had to deal with that with a company like this, David Allen Capital, where people were submitting Trustpilot or other type of places reviews, and they were from people they didn't even know, people that didn't understand what they were even doing, or just competitors. So don't pay much attention to that. This is very misleading, and we've looked into it. Received an email claiming to be the SBA and applied for a paycheck protection program. Check the funds. And here's just this is 100% not fraud. We are a commercial loan broker, and just a person explaining it to them, and just be careful of that. How much does it cost? There is no cost, no fees to start up an application, or no effect to your credit score whatsoever. No hidden fees, costs like other companies may have. And again, just to get started right there, click that button. If it's in the article you're reading, this will be down below in the description for you to access. Who is it for? It is for both startups and non-startups, as I've just said. You're looking for equipment financing, leasing. You're looking for these different options to get higher priced equipment, or it may be less. And you want the best company that can help you with it. Everlasting Capital is your choice. Now, it could be a little bit more, I wouldn't want to use the word expensive, but quote unquote, expensive depends on the individual, it's subjective. But would that piece of funding help you profit at the end of the day? If it is a yes, and it's a no-brainer to move with, it's again, the benefit, does it outweigh if it was any kind of repayment, right? What type of payments? Would it benefit higher than the payments? If so, then it makes sense to move forward. And I say that across all boards, if you've heard me. Bank account about 6 months, just a little bit of details there. Non-startups, You need fast short-term cash or equipment to continue to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch. You're growing a startup company or a veteran business owner faced with an unexpected opportunity. You want a quick decision, no obligation. People want an easy online application process where you can apply in minutes, get approved within hours, and get funded in days in as little as 24 hours. You're looking for this working capital, but even more on the equipment financing. As I said in the beginning, if you're just focusing on equipment financing, this is the direction to go into. They may have bits and pieces here of the working capital they can help you with, but for that solution, I'd go somewhere else with like DAC as at least my number one recommended, because I've helped out so many people there, and it's a great direction to get into, especially with no interest, and the way it's handled there. It's a win-win. Not to say that working capital from Everlasting Capital isn't great, because they are, but I've been around the industry with revenue-based funding for quite some time, and so who's it not for? But before that, all industries are welcomed. You want to offer financing yourself. Who's it not for? You don't need working capital alternatively and or equipment financing. The benefit of getting working capital or equipment does not outweigh the cost of paying it back. As I said, you're a tire kicker, lazy people, complainers. You're maybe not in the growth or expansion phase just yet, and you think you won't get the best offer. You don't want expensive funding costs. They are a little bit more pricier, but I do recommend them as the way to go. Pros and cons: super fast application process you can apply in minutes, which means it'll be hassle-free to you. Get approved in minutes, so you don't have to worry about waiting days, weeks, and even those months like you traditionally would go through a bank, which means you'll get your stress and anxiety of waiting out of the way before it even begins. You'll get funded within days so you can get back on track with your business as fast as possible, which means you'll keep your business driving at all moments of every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Flexible equipment financing options, so you can get up to 1.5 million for new and used equipment and technology, which means you'll finally have the equipment to keep you growing in profits much faster. Low requirement working capital, so you don't have to worry about getting approved, which means you'll get the money you need to keep moving yourself forward. Cons: it could be a little bit of a higher cost in capital, but again, it's subjective, and it's one of the better places to get into. Okay, so it can cater to any funding amount, no prepayment penalties, 1 to 10% in FMV buyouts, traditional payments, competitive rates you're getting. You choose your term and structure, so just keep that in mind. Quick one-page online application or DocuSign, you get same-day approval, as I said, in a 24-hour funding window. So sweet spots that we're looking at with working capital, but we won't go into depth on that because we more or less covered it, and so forth. Now, let me come up here just a little bit just to make sure I covered everything. Preferably, we have 2 years. 1 year can be accepted. We went over the startup phase, 625, 650 preferred, 100% ownership. Application only up to 100,000. Get one application, vendor invoice or quote, 3 months in bank statements, and therefore revenue at 0. Bankruptcy, foreclosures, none in the last 5 years. Restricted industries: airplanes, guns, boats. Ownership 100%. Existing loans are okay. States all 50. So okay. So at a glance, product features: amounts 1,000 to 250,000. Documentation fees $425 to $995. That has to be taken into account for. APR 6.99% to 29.99%. Terms are 12 to 16 months. Repayment monthly. Structure EFA or a lease. All right, so that will conclude. Let me make sure I covered everything, that I didn't miss anything. This again, you can go down below and check it out to get started. Pick up this free 6-step pre-approval learning checklist if you haven't already. Different types for working capital, my recommendations and programs. Alternatives, as I stated, they're already David Allen Capital, Make Breezy, the Advanced Rapid Finance, On Deck, Deal from there. You have a few of them on the table, especially for working capital as well. And that is about it. Okay, so all this, the resources down below in the description. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave me feel free to reach out to me. My email will be in the description, my social channels, my handles on that. And for anything else that you need, please let me know. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so. Click on the bell notification icon so you don't miss a future video I will be coming out with. And that is everything. Okay, thank you. Bye.